Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WPFW 89.3 FM. I'm your host, Frank Agbro, and we're live at 5. What a beautiful evening it is today in the nation's capital compared to the last 2 days where it was freezing cold. Oh man, I enjoyed today. I hope you did too. Well, it gives me great pleasure on this evening to welcome to the studios of WPFW a father and son group by the name of the Kojo Roney Band. Please welcome them to Live at 5, and we'll get into a little conversation after they play some songs for us. Thank you all for listening. If you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the I gotta get your names right, guys. The Kojo Odu Roney Band right here on WPFW Live at 5. Thank you all for tuning in on this Friday evening. Guys, welcome to the studio. Nice to have you guys here. And I'll start with the father, and please introduce yourself.
Antoine Roney.
Yeah, Antoine Roney, and you play?
Saxophone.
Excuse me?
Saxophone.
All right. And then we go to your son. Your name is?
Kojo Roney, and I play drums.
Okay. Oh, he's got a mic? He's got his own mic? Okay. All right. You can use that mic right there. Okay. Yeah. And you play drums, right?
Yep.
But I like to walk around anyways, because it's good. It's good exercise to move. Especially when I'm excited about having groups in the studio. I feel like I'm energized. I feel this energy to hear the music you guys play. Now, I was reading your bio, and one thing struck out to me, and I'm going to read one sentence, and that's going to be the beginning of our conversation. It says, by the age of 4, drum prodigy Kojo Roney could play confidently with established ensembles. Now, how did this all begin?
Well, I tell the story a lot. Kojo.
Can you?
Well, I'm not sure how it began. When he was born, he was into drums. My wife, his mother, Nia Love, is she teach African. She teach all kinds of different kinds of movement, dance. But one of the classes is an African dance class, so he was always around rhythm. But he took interest in jazz and in jazz drumming, at a very young age.
So can I ask you a question, if you don't mind? Because I have a similar situation. I have 3 kids that play music. Mm-hmm. One of my sons is a drummer. Mm-hmm. He's the oldest. My daughter's a singer. And my other son is a keyboard player. So I'm trying to figure out, what is the thing? How did you first notice that the drums was the instrument he wanted to play?
Well, when we drive in the car, I would play these CDs, and he would be in, the back of the car, air drumming,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one day he was behind me while I was driving, and while he was air drumming, he was kicking my seat, and he was kicking my seat on the axis that the bass drum was doing. The drumming is a pretty intricate tunes.
Right.
These are jazz tunes, Tony Williams and Philly Joe Jones, and he was kicking my seat with the bass drum. And he wasn't even 1 year old. So I said, he's transcribing. He's a drummer. Mm-hmm. So I got him a drum kit, and the rest was history.
Right.
Me.
My son used to play with those chopsticks.
Oh, he did all of that too.
You go to a Chinese restaurant and stuff. The first thing you take is the chopsticks and start playing around. Mm-hmm. And I could have exposed him to many different situations musically, live music. Mm-hmm. And you could always tell he was always looking at the drummer, nobody else. Mm-hmm. But now he understands other instruments, pretty well. The reason is you pick up these things when, as a father, you're paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because children have talent, and sometimes it's not often seen.
Or it's not noticed.
Or noticed. That's exactly. It's not noticed. And it's a great thing to have you guys here performing it as a father and son duo, and it's something I can really very much relate to because it's a very deep kind of chemistry.
Well, what's interesting is, as he learned how to play, and he was playing things that was really mature, for a young person. So then I could.
This was at the age of 4. At the age of 4,
yeah, like 2, 3.
3, okay.
Yeah, he was playing things, and I could hear him thinking. I said, "Oh, I could hear him thinking." Usually children that young, you don't really. You might can notice him and see him do things, but I could hear him thinking. And then when he'll play with me, he's playing behind me, and he's playing things behind me. So then I really understood that he is thinking on a high level. Now, to express himself verbally on a high level, he wasn't there yet.
Right.
But I knew that he was thinking on a high level. So it's just a matter of, listening to him when he talks, when he talked to me. And I know that he's trying to say something because when he's playing something that's really, so his mind is moving. And then you start to see in other children, I said, oh, I can see that in other children too. Just a lot of times we don't notice it because they can't communicate verbally. Yeah. So we kind of look at them like we got to teach them, but they're thinking like now. When I thought about when I was younger, and I pretty much think the same way I think now. I just didn't know how to express it, but I still have the same. I don't feel like I was younger, and just things that I learned over the years that was put in front of me, but I still feel like the same person from when I was younger. It's just being able to express myself was the challenge.
Well, I like to say, good wine takes aging, right? Good food takes a lot of good seasoning, and it takes time. So if you guys have another song you want to play for us, and then we'll get into a little bit more conversation, because I like for the audience to be able to hear the kind of work that you guys do, maybe the variety of tunes that you guys play, if you don't mind. All right. Well, folks, I'm here in studio with the Odu Roney experience right here on the Kojo Odu Roney experience right here on WPFW 89.3 FM, and we're live at 5, and I'm your host, Frank Agbro, on this Friday in the nation's capital. Thank you all for listening. All right, folks, if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the music of the Kojo Odu Roney experience right here on WPFW 89.3 FM, the station for jazz and justice, located right here in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. For those who may not know, well, welcome. Thank you guys for being here again. And my next question is directed to your son, Kojo. When I see you play, it appears to me that you're very, you're excited about playing. Has it always been that way?
Yeah.
Because there are times when I take my kid. Well, go ahead. You answer the question first, and I'll tell you from a different perspective.
I mean,
or another perspective.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Music is exciting. It's the most exciting thing, especially when I'm able to express myself in the way that I am.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just an excitement. It's like an explosion. Not a destructive explosion where things are sacrificed, but an explosion in space where nothing gets hurt. You know what I mean?
Sacrificed. Yeah. Well, that's a nice way to put it. But how old are you now?
I'm 15 now.
You're 15 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, the teenage years and things are beginning to move a little bit more faster around you, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that. Or I'll tell you this. It's a little, things are getting, they're not faster. They're getting slower and smaller.
What do you mean by that?
Well, from my most cherished memories, everything was humongous. Seats, chairs, they're both the same thing. But seats, streets, trees, everything was big. Cymbals, drums. And now I'm starting to get, I'm not starting.
Is that because you're taller? Is that what it is? Or?
Yeah, I got taller. Everything gets smaller. Everything is slower. I remember when I used to look down when I walk down the street, because I'm from New York. Mm-hmm. So you walk down the street, you see rats and bugs and everything. It's disgusting, but it's what it is. But I used to look down, and I'll be able to see ants, walking. I'll be able to see the rats and stuff. But now I look down at the streets. All I see is the pavement. I don't see nothing. I got to bend over to see things, if you know what I mean. So that's
yeah, well, bro, that's a good problem to have. That's a good problem to have. You know what I've noticed in terms of, you talk about rodents, the pigeons have gotten bolder in DC. I don't know what it is over the years that I've been here.
Probably because they're from New York. I chased them pigeons so many times. They had to flock to
They'll
DC.
walk right in front of you on the sidewalk, man. They don't even care.
Oh yeah, that's New York pigeons, man. You could
right?
kick a pigeon, and they'll get mad at you and try to fight you. That's a different breed of bird right there.
So that's where we get all this musical inspiration from.
Yep,
all these little things that we notice that helps in the creative vibes, right?
Yep. Music is everything around you, and then it gets transformed into sound waves that go into your ear, and into your brain and into your spirit.
Right. So how often do you guys play as a father and son?
Every day.
Combination. Well, besides rehearsing and playing, but what kind of gigs do you do?
High level.
And when
gigs.
you do shows and stuff. Because you got a show coming up at the Kennedy Center, right?
Yeah, we have a show coming up at the Kennedy Center. Mm-hmm. We've been doing this for some years now. Mm-hmm. So it's a natural thing, and we try to play every day. But then our playing is not just with our instruments. It's at home, wash the dishes, or I got this, you get this, I got that,
right.
And I'm home. He's homeschooled, so. We spend a lot of time together as friends and as father and son.
Right. So let me ask you this: you don't have any other children, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How about the other children? What are they doing?
I have grandchildren. That's 3 girls. I raised 3 girls.
You raised 3 girls, and you have 1 son.
I have 1 son, and the girls they're out in the world now.
Right.
They have careers. One of them is a dancer, one is a contortionist, another she does visual arts. Mm-hmm. And
in the area or in New York or
in New York, you know,
scattered around the USA.
Scattered around. And Kojo's the youngest, so he.
Sadly to say.
Oh, so you're the one that your dad's spoiling, huh?
Yeah, you can say that.
They say the youngest kids get spoiled, right?
He's spoiling me. Not spoiling him.
That's good. He's bringing it out of you, right?
He's almost like an only child, so he has a lot of space.
Right.
Which the girls didn't have that much space.
Right. Right. Well, it's great that you guys have this relationship that you know that you have, and the homeschool thing is something I don't quite understand. Can you explain the reasons for doing that, or?
Well, okay, he playing the drums. I just saw how he was thinking at a very young age, and I didn't want his mind to change. And I know when you go to school, with the peer pressure and all the things that's happening in the school, it can reroute, especially for the way he was thinking, it could reroute him,
It's interesting you say that, because I remember an experience where I was trying to get my son to enroll in some kind of musical instruction. And, for every situation that we found ourselves in, I would always watch to see what was really going on, the interaction. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, because I experienced it myself, where if a kid is talented, whoever's instructing, you've got to pay very special attention to what that kid really needs to develop it. You know what I mean? And so I would look through, they have those little booths and everything, and they have the window and stuff, and I would look through the window and see what the guy was doing, and I could see my son getting frustrated. You see, and that frustration right there is that point where a parent needs to observe that this might not be the thing for the kid and might kill his inspiration.
Will kill.
You understand? You want them to keep doing what they're doing because they enjoy it. But when it gets to a point where it's not enjoyed anymore, it becomes work. It becomes a stressful situation. They're going to let it go. And then you should be prepared for wherever they take that energy to. All right?
He had talents his talents in music, because that's what he chose to do. But he also did other things that was just as on a high level. But I remember one time he would make his own shoes.
Oh, really? Wow.
Okay. And he would go outside and wear them. And he'd make his own clothes, and they weren't like the greatest looking, but it was his.
Did anyone ever tease you about that when you did your own thing?
I didn't care.
You didn't care.
Yeah,
did you hear it, though?
Somebody teased him. Remember the person asked you about your clothes or your... he said,
yeah, come on.
I used to walk out, because, I have a dog, so I have to walk the dog.
Right.
And I used to get to a point where I didn't feel like going and putting on clothes, putting on, like... This is in winter, though. Putting on, like pants and shirts. So I'd just go out with my long johns and my regular shirt.
Yeah.
And they long johns, so they tights.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? One of my friends, I walk the dog, and my friend comes to me. He's like, yo, why are you wearing tights, man? This is for girls. I said, yo, man, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm out here. It ain't affecting your life, I just shoot. I didn't really have any.
But there was one situation where somebody comment on his hat, and he told the guy, he said, well, how much did you pay for your hat?
Oh, yeah.
Cat said, $10. He said, well, mine, I made mine, it was free. But he's pretty creative, and
so he's got a pretty high level of independence.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I kind of just I watch him, and I let him do his thing, and sometimes I put him to the test, he would say, Dad, ask me, could he do something? And I would say no. And I said, well, let me see what you're going to do. And he would go and he would do it.
Right.
So I said, oh, now, and if I had stuck with no, he would never have done it.
You're talking about time I climbed that tree?
Just different things that you would do, and I would put him to the test and let him go out and mingle with people, or, and see the results. And he would come back, he would do what he said that he was going to do, and he would complete it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see that he has something in his mind, and he would go out and do it.
Right. And that's the thing. Sometimes parents are somehow pigeonholed or conditioned to think their way is the best way because they're older. But that's not necessarily true. Ideas flow all the time. Creativity flows all the time. And if you're paying attention to your child, you would know that he wants to express something, but sometimes you got to give him that chance to express, to at least see it play out.
Right.
But you have to be able to be there to somehow try to guide it.
Yeah.
Guide it because they might be thinking something, but maybe they don't know all of it. And it's our jobs as parents to be able to make it, make them understand it.
Right, and then you got to let them do things, and if you don't let them do it, they're going to hold it against you to a certain degree. But if you let them do it and they fail, and then that's when the lesson starts. Then we can sit down and have a conversation at what they failed at. But if they never fail, and then it won't be a conversation.
Right, but they have to have the courage to try.
They had to have the courage to try, and you have to let them fall.
Right.
And then they will understand, like you said, in order to, you have to fall before you.
Huh?
So, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys, go ahead.
And sometimes you got to run before you can walk.
You can run before you can walk. Okay.
Well, I don't think I'd encourage that, but they say most times I'm not against people in the trouble.
Now you see how he said he would say and I'll be like that too, and then I said, well, go ahead, let me see you do it.
Yeah.
And then he would do it.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he,
I don't know. I can't measure the.
Put a few firecrackers on my feet, man. I'll do it.
Well, we traveled around the world, and we have spent time in really awkward places.
Playing music.
Well, we played music, but after we would play the music, I would take them to places. We went to the Four Corners, and he had to deal with the environment of the Valley of the Gods, so we stayed in the pine forest in the middle of the desert and all. And I mean, he was really young, and we had to. He understands survival from those. Most of the trips that we take, I try to, after we play, have him experience culture and life in that area that we're at. And that's part of the teaching for a young person. And see how he deals with that, or send him out and let him spend that money in a different country and see what he gets out of it.
Yeah, well, I used to take my kids show. We used to do these camping thing with live music, a 2-day thing.
Oh, that's right.
It's Labor Day weekend for many years, and that was quite an experience. Just being around, and for them, because at that time in DC, not like it is now. I have to say that specifically. Restaurants and bars did not encourage people bringing kids in there. So you could not really hang out with your family. Right. That's when I started doing the block parties. And so that was one way, and front porch concerts. That was one way that I could be with my family and hear live music and for them to experience it. And not just them, all the other kids in the neighborhood. Because kids love music. When they see things happening, that's where it all starts. The live presentation of music, very humble way and cool way, that they can absorb it. Well, it's nice having you guys in studio to have this conversation, to hear your music. I'd like to hear more, and I'm sure the audience right there out there would like to hear more, while they're commuting home to their loved ones and getting ready for a wonderful weekend. Let's have some more music. Thank you very much for being here. He just has to give us that little extra thing, right? Folks, thank you all for listening. I'm here in studio with the Kojo Odu Roney experience right here on WPFW Live at 5. Thank you all for listening on this wonderful Friday evening. And I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate the musicianship. This is the 10th anniversary of the musicianship, and that's an organization that helps the youth east of the river in music. You know, get them involved in music and provide all kinds of stuff for them to be able to encourage, youth as same as your son and getting into music. I was recently, just to tell you a little bit of a story, I was recently in Berlin, Germany, where I met an African-American musician by the name of Wilbur Harris. And he said something that was very interesting to me. Is like, he was saying that he used to fight a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
He used to get physical as a kid, a lot, until he found music. Mm-hmm. And then he started fighting through music, in other words. You know what I'm saying? He took the battles to display his knowledge of music and his skills. Do you find that music helps you in that way to deal with other things in life?
Yep. Yeah.
In what
ways?
Like what do you think may have happened to you if you weren't playing music? And so you can answer this question as a father too. I mean, if you weren't playing music, what were the possibilities of doing other things?
I don't know if I would be here.
Excuse me?
I don't know if I would be here.
You don't know if you'll be here?
No.
Very interesting. And do you think that's the same for a lot of black youth?
I didn't hear you.
Do you think that's the same kind of thinking, from a lot of black youth, young teenagers like you?
Maybe.
Thinking that way, that you don't think you'd be here. Well, be here in studio or be alive? Maybe I didn't get that.
Oh no, be here. If I wasn't a musician, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'd be somebody else.
Do you have an idea what that person would have been?
No.
Okay. And how about you, sir?
Well, I don't have any other imagination other than music. I mean, I do other things, but music is how I express myself. Mm-hmm. And if I mean, at this point, it's a part of me.
It's a part, yeah.
So I don't really have any other visions. Mm-hmm. I think music before I think anything else. Mm-hmm. I had to translate my musical thoughts into communicating with people.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So did you have any formal musical training yourself?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and my brother is a great trumpet player. Mm-hmm. Played with everybody. He was, and we came up together in Philadelphia. Yeah, and definitely studied.
Right.
You have to study to play the music like this. You have to study.
Right.
It's just not something you just pick up an instrument.
You can't. Yeah. How about like? Do you also expose him to like some older jazz cats and?
What do you mean expose him to?
Well, in terms of he's got you right, but like go to jazz concerts and.
You ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, really ask him.
Well, the reason why I say that. Oh, I mean he.
All those guys are my uncles.
Is that
right?
Wow.
For tomorrow for the Kennedy Center, I have Buster Williams on bass.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you know Buster Williams, but if you don't, you should. Mm-hmm. You know Herbie Hancock?
Yeah, of course.
You know Nwandishi? Mm-hmm. Buster Williams is the bass player on Nwandishi, and he played with many other great singers and musicians, Miles Davis, I can't even name all the people that he played with, but
Benny Golson,
yeah,
Nancy Wilson,
but
Sarah Vaughan,
Buster Williams. I call him Uncle Buster. Uncle Buster, Herbie, Wayne. I only met Wayne once, but he knew who I was. Right. he's great friends with my dad.
So this group,
Ron Carter, all Jimmy Cobb, Louis Hayes. Mm-hmm. All these people are, they're my close friends.
Wow.
They're my uncles.
So you're surrounded by a lot of like royalties. Musically.
The way I'm playing, I can't play like this without knowing those guys.
Right. That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. And I didn't have the same opportunity, so I would take kids to all kinds of different musical presentations.
Well, there was something interesting. He went to a club and Gary Bartz was playing, and it was Gary Bartz, Buster Williams.
Lenny White.
The late
No, Al Foster.
Yeah, Al Foster on drums and Larry Willis on piano. Mm-hmm. And
Jimmy Cobb was there.
Jimmy Cobb was there. So he he went to sit in. So it's okay. They let him sit in. And Gary Bart said, "What do you want to play, Kojo?" Kojo said, "Let's play something fast." He said, "Okay," and he counted off something slow.
Right.
But Kojo sounded really good playing. I mean, he sounded really good. But then I looked, and Al Foster was sitting next to Kojo with his hand on his calf, tapping rhythms.
Oh wow!
While he was playing.
Wow.
I mean, that's one of the greatest teachings that you can have.
That's awesome.
And then after he finished playing, Jimmy Cobb jumped on the drums and played. Mm-hmm. And then he got to hear and feel what that felt like, Yeah, so I mean, and they all, they see Kojo's talent, they understand it, and they mentor him and they encourage him.
I love it when musicians do that. Yeah.
And so this concert tomorrow, I mean, Buster Williams is we're blessed to have Buster Williams play with us, and I mean we're playing on the level where Buster, but at the same time, Buster's in support of Kojo. You know, Kojo asked him, and it's almost like a favor. Buster's like, "Sure, Coach, I'll play with you."
So let's talk about the program tomorrow at the Kennedy Center. First of all, what time is that program?
What time is the program?
You know,
Well, the first set is 7:30, and the second set is 9:30.
and this is supposed to be a part of the thing that a new thing that the Kennedy Center is doing.
Is
Or
it?
have they been? I don't know if they've been doing it, but this is the first time I've heard of it. It's called a Discovery Artist. And you're the first artist that they're making his debut. Your first artist this season
Oh, okay.
that's making a debut.
I ain't get none of that information. All I got was, here's the date, come play the gig. And I said,
Well,
okay.
That's why you got me here at WPFW,
Right on.
you know, and I can
Right
read. Thank God. But yeah, so it's the first Discovery Artist of the season, and well, congratulations on that.
Oh, that makes me feel
You know,
special.
it's quite an achievement. And it seems the composition of the band is a multi-generational tomorrow that you guys. So you have
Yes. We have a mix of old people and young people.
yeah,
Old
To
people. We're
simplify.
not old people, man.
maybe wise people, but think of a better term, man.
Elders and youngsters.
Yeah, old is out, man. All right. Well, guys, if you want to give us some more music, I think we got like for 15 more minutes. I'd like for the audience to hear a little bit more.
50? We play 50
15.
minutes straight.
Yeah, no. Well, you know, you can play just give us a song, and I'd like to come back and have a little short conversation, and then we'll, call it for the weekend. And,
All right, right on.
all right, but I enjoy being here with you guys.
Oh,
on
I enjoy being here
WPFW
with
Live
you.
at 5 with Frank Agbro from Franco Jazz Studios in Mount Pleasant. We thank you for listening on this Friday, and I hope you're having a safe commute, and I hope you're looking forward to a wonderful weekend. Here's more from the Kojo Odu Roney experience right here on Live at 5. Thank you for listening. right, folks, if you just tuning in, folks, you're listening to the music of the Kojo Odu Roney experience right here on WPFW Live at 5, and I'm your host, Frank Agbro. I got a couple of questions left for you guys. Are you local?
No.
Where you from?
New York City.
New York City. So you came specifically for this Kennedy Center show?
This Kennedy Center show.
Okay,
yes.
And then you leave tomorrow and
After the show.
Right after the show.
Well, not
17th.
like the next day. The
next day. All right.
Well, we can leave after the show if we want, right?
Mm-hmm. So, how's the music scene in in terms of what you guys do in New York?
New York?
You know?
Oh, it's incredible.
A lot of opportunities and stuff.
Well, opportunities. Yeah, it's opportunities, and it's just a lot of people that are playing so many different things. You know,
right?
Young, older, they all are there.
Okay, great. And do you have a contact info or a website? You have a website?
Do we have a website?
Yes.
Man, you're 15 years old. You don't have a website.
Website
You have Instagram.
Outdated, man.
Oh, okay. It's outdated. Okay, what do you? So give us what you got. Contact info.
But we do have a website. It's Anoint Music.
That's right. Anoint. We have our website. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it is anointmusic.com.
Anoint.
Anoint. ENOIT.com.
Okay. ENOIT.
Yep.
Anoint Music.
Okay.
And my Facebook, Instagram is Kojo Roney. KOJORONEY.
All right. Kojo
You can find
Roney.
me there on anything.
Okay, and so he's got the name on the. You using his? That's his group thing, or is his?
Well, as it started out as Antoine Roney Trio, and it still is Antoine Roney Trio, but he's getting a lot of exposure,
right?
And people interested in him, so I let him take the reins.
He's definitely got the talent. He's got talent, definitely.
He definitely had a talent, but with the younger musicians, I always encourage them to, to find mentor in the elder. Because there's things that have been passed down. Some things, you could practice hours and hours, but if you're not practicing the right thing, you practice. And some of the things you're going to get from the elders has been passed down to them to pass down to you.
And there's a way it's communicated that you'll get it.
And that's all that knowledge. So as we do it, we try to keep somebody in there that can help the quality of the music from the past to the future.
Right. That's wonderful. Well, it's been a great pleasure having you guys here on Live at 5 on my show. And I'd like to thank Katia Stitt for booking you guys and having you guys over here. Katia, thank you very much for making that possible on this Friday. And your man there, who's this guy, man? I just see a guy sitting on the corner. And what's your name, man?
Speak for himself.
Roderick Garr.
Rod Garr, the movie
How are
star.
you related to these guys?
Well, actually, I am the road manager for Kojo ever since he was about, 5 years old?
No, about 1 year old.
But what?
1 year old. You would road manage me going to pre-K school.
That's true.
Man.
I have been since 1 year old.
Take him to school.
Actually, Kojo's mother and I, we went to Howard University together, and we've been best friends ever since. So it's definitely a family affair.
That is awesome. It's good to have the right people in the right places. Folks, on that note, I'd like to thank Sierra Shine, my engineer this evening, and I'd like to thank everybody for listening. And for you guys, I wish you the best of luck. More successes. We'd like to hear from you again.
Oh, sure.
And you coming out with any kind of CDs or anything coming up?
We have CDs.
Projects coming up? Or
we have CDs and T-shirts and all of that stuff.
At the Kennedy Center.
You're going to make sure you take it to the Kennedy Center so you guys make a little cash, right?
Yeah.
All right, folks. I'm your host, Frank Agbro, on this Friday. And you guys, you have one more song for us on the way out?
Another one?
Yeah? Okay. And we could do a drum solo. Whatever you want to do, just make it happen. Make that magic happen right here in studio. I'm your host, Franco Agbro, and from all of us here right here on Live at 5 and WPFW, have a great weekend and see you next Friday. Bye.